Hey guys, how's it going? Another month in paradise, huh? We're looking at your May forecast for 2017 Cancer. And you know, Mercury is retrograding here in your career house. So it's time for you to really look back at past opportunities that might resurface at this time. Maybe there's a project that you might feel is slowing down. Maybe there's going to need to be some retweaking going on, but that's okay. That's what retrogrades are for, so that we can have the opportunity to perfect what it is we're doing and where our goals are going, right? Mercury retrograde here in Aries, well, that is more your mind. It's your will too, just like Taurus's will. Aries comes forward, it's just taking initiative, wanting to lead. And I feel that maybe there could be something in that area right now which is going to surface for you. And Venus is here in the same sign, being in Aries, also in your career house. So a lot of love, a lot of passion, things felt closely to the heart is now coming forward and being expanded in the area of those goals that you set for yourself. 10th house isn't always just career, it's goals. It's where you see yourself achieving to those heights. So I feel there's a lot of love, there's a lot of passion going in here. It's also your self-worth and your goals within your self-worth about achieving those very goals. Mars, on the other hand, is now taking hiatus. It's in your 12th house, so he's powering up. Okay, he's just concluding a 2-year journey for you. And so for right now, more than anything, he's just needing to be in the subconscious mind. So there's not too much physical activity reaching out. You might feel, not necessarily tired, Cancer, but you might definitely feel the need to step back from the busy day-to-day, whether it's family, children, work, but just where you could feed your soul. And if we don't feed our souls, well, then we run on low, right? Then we have very little energy to give or disperse to those around us, right? So it is very important that we take that time. Now, Mars, though, is direct, so there's no slowdown, and he won't be here for too long, but for right now, as you enter into the month, and I'd like to say, too, that this Mars is going to be powered up by the new moon on the 25th. The new moon will be 4 degrees. Mars has already moved through the sign pretty much at that time, but it's still in that 12th house where you're going to sense and you're going to feel that things are coming together, new beginnings, new starts. So that new moon is when we place our intentions, 12th house. When you've been feeling now how Mars is directing you towards a little bit more alone or me time, then the new moon intention this month should be, I want more of that in the upcoming months, right? So it's more like making a mental note to yourself that you're going to follow up on this because you'll see how it recharges you. The full moon, since we're talking about the moons, is going to take place here in May 10th on, yes, excuse me, 20 degrees Scorpio. So for you, this full moon is really bringing everything of those deeper emotions that you've been working on, harboring. It is going to take center stage in your 5th house. So this has to do with you, your creativity. If you have a business, then that will be center stage, but 5th house is also love and romance and our children. So on either one of these levels, you'll come to see that this is going to peak for you. If you've been working, say for example, on a very creative project, well then that is definitely going to be in the limelight there on May 10th. Also about these full moons, especially because we had a lunar eclipse here in February, you know, it takes a month where it manifests the first, but then it's still going to be affecting you until next year. So you can come to see how it's going to drip through on these next full moons, the consequences of what that lunar eclipse did for you. So you will see how that works as well. I'm sensing that you now, in spite of wanting to step back, in spite of wanting to rest and have me time, the sun passing through your 11th house is very social. It's your friends, catching up with them. maybe that is what you haven't had too much time for, and maybe that's a part of your restoration, is to be able to relax with your friends and have a little potluck here or there, right? See what's going on with them. But it's also groups and organizations, but it's also the area, Cancer, for your hopes and dreams, right? So while Mars is dreaming in that 12th house of Pisces, which is very creative, and the Sun is in the 11th house for hopes and dreams, try to correlate that these two can combine, where you're seeing yourself, where Mars wants to go, what goals you have or place for yourself over the next 2-year cycle with Mars, so that once Mars gets into your first house, you can have a flying start with wind under your wings and start reaching for those goals. That's what this dream time is all about. It's a spiritual walkabout. And so since the Sun is right now placed in that dream area, and Mars is also in a dream area for you, let me tell you though, June can really take off on a very, very good note if you do everything right now. I'd like to say that Pluto has been working and is still working in your 7th house or your relationships. You're seeing how they're still undergoing this long-term transformation. You're finding more and more of your own self-empowerment. And for you, Cancer, that is good because you're always caring about everybody else, right? So that they're happy, that they're in harmony. If they're happy, you're happy. But through this whole Plutonian transformation, it's also you finding your place within relationships, that it's not always just nurturing everybody, but including yourself, that you're starting to nurture yourself. And as you do, more inner sense of empowerment is coming to the surface. Those of you who have undergone the exact degree to your Sun is feeling it the most. Pluto is currently 19 degrees in your partnership house. So there's still 11 degrees to go before you're completed this total journey. Neptune in the 9th house, well, that is you spiritually growing, expanding, deepening, researching, reading up on, taking courses and so forth to really find out the meaning of why you're here in the first place. What is your purpose? What is your, not intention in life, but your mission in life? Are you here just to do what you've been doing? Or is there a calling that you're here to do something more special? That is what spiritual development and expansion really can bring to the surface. Know thyself is a very, very important lingo, right? Because that really puts us to find our place in cosmos, that we're more than just a human being having a spiritual experience, but that you are a spiritual being in a physical presence, right? Now this month is really lined up with a lot of beautiful aspects. We do have a couple of little tweaks, bumps in the road. We'll get to them as well. But as we start off the month, on the 4th, the Sun and Neptune, the Sun being you, Neptune being your vision, now they're coming together in a beautiful sextile, allowing you to not just dream your dream, but see your dream, okay? It's really getting in touch with a vision. And when we have a vision, we can see the end of a process, not just the beginning. Sometimes when we start a process and we don't know where it's going to go, we get lost in the woods, right? Because we can't see the forest because of all the trees. But when we have vision, we see the beginning and we see the end. And if you can see the end outcome, you know exactly how to go back and then go for that goal. That's what you're going to receive. I would say hang on to it. Make some notes upon it, Cancer. On the 9th, the Sun and Pluto will come together to help you manifest some of that energy of what you saw. Pluto's transformation. So here's the vision, now comes transformation. And the essence, the strength of it might even come to surprise yourself. All right, because on the 10th, I see you communicating this to someone. And it might be a little unexpected or shocking. Uranus is involved. Or you could receive some information on this day that will allow you to have a little OMG as well. Now on the 11th, here's a little bump in the road. It could be a little letdown, disappointment. Maybe you're going to have to take a rain check if you have any appointments set up. But it's passing, because what I'm seeing is that as soon as you have that information, I see it being restored. with news between Mercury and Saturn. So that's communication, and Saturn locking it in and explaining why things maybe got a little delayed or put aside or whatever those circumstances are. So you're going to end up feeling okay about it. So don't get too disappointed. On the 12th, Mars and Jupiter, they are trine. And for you, what that means is your Mars is really powered up by Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything. Jupiter wants you to grow, right? And it has vision too, just like Neptune. Differently though, but this vision is giving you a power up of enthusiasm, optimism, and the feeling that there's no limitations, that you can achieve anything, and Mars is going for that calling. On the 16th, Mercury is then moving into the sign of Taurus. This now allows you to be a little bit more social again because it's the 11th house, but it's also you communicating what you've been working for in your 10th house of goals or career, to bring this out to your group, whether that's a group of friends or it could be social media, whatever it is. But I see you talking, sharing, opening up, maybe in an attempt to try to get somebody's feedback too on what it is now that you're wanting to set up. On the 19th, Saturn and Uranus, they are creating a beautiful triangular aspect. And Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is your karmic to-go person that really supports you, that really wants you to find your roots deeply, to secure. And Uranus is always about change, new directions, new ways of thinking out of the box. Perhaps Uranus for you is in the 10th house of career. Saturn is coming from your 6th house, from your day-to-day work. So I'm feeling that this, on the 19th for you, specifically Cancer, will be a great time perhaps to lock in something, even though I'd like to say that Saturn is retrograde, but this could be something from the past that earlier was mentioned, talked about, that now can come in and you can lock it in. So, you know, retrogrades, we don't really want to start new processes, but if it's something from the past, you're still very good to go. And maybe it was waiting for this to come in so that you could look at it a little deeper, take more time because of the slowness of Saturn, so you're not just jumping into it. But it's coming along with a choice. So I feel it's more like an offer. You can take it or leave it. And the choice is the seesaw energy between Venus and Jupiter on this very same day. Now Venus loves what it loves, Jupiter wants what it wants and wants to expand, but they're on opposite sides of your chart, right? And so this is between career and home. So maybe whatever this offer could be will bring you to a point where you're thinking, is it worth it? Will I be working too many hours? What about the family? You know, will I be forsaking them for this opportunity? Or maybe it could be the opposite way, that the family is needing you or something new coming in there. And then also, well, what is that going to do for work? Can I make it work? That's going to be your thoughts. But I'm seeing that Saturn is looking out for you in the long run. And this is a situation that's going to linger for a while, so you don't have to jump to any conclusions right away. And whereas Venus is going to move out of this seesaw environment just within a few days. So hang in there. The Sun will be moving into the 12th house where Mars initially was and still is. That gives you a little time to kind of pull back and start thinking about what just took place in the previous days. And I feel this is a place where you can roam around, because it is your subconsciousness and your higher consciousness, and the Sun is allowing you to look within these realms and maybe even get a glimpse of parallel realms. If you go down this avenue, what will the consequences be? Putting yourself in this realm, if you make this choice, what will that create for you? So I don't see a time pressure, and I think it's really, really good for you to have that creative energy of the 12th house to help you find that new path. On the 25th, there could be a money matter or an issue. This could be between you and a partner. It could be perhaps even something at work, whether you've been hoping for something, but there's a square between Venus and Pluto. Pluto for you is in your 7th house. That's why it could be a partnership thing, but then Venus is in your career house. So maybe there is a situation that needs to be discussed on either level. On the 28th, you're up and running again. Venus is communicating all these beautiful visions and spirituality and experiences. And a lot of you Cancerians will find that you're starting to really open up for a lot of spiritual experiences. Could we call them paranormal? Could we call them supernatural? Nothing is actually supernatural. Everything is normal. It's just that not everyone is attuned to those higher frequencies, but you're having all this beautiful Neptunian energy coming through your higher self, your upper channels, through that Neptune and Pisces in your 9th house. So, you know, maybe it's time to start sharing your experiences, your stories, right? 31st, we're ending this month with Mars, and it is just really now starting to take a supercharged leap. I feel that the next stage that you're going to be seeing is preparing yourself now to what you're wanting to do. June will show you where you're going to go with it, but it's kind of wrapping up its journey there in that 12th house. And I can see how, yes, by the end of this month, if you listen to this forecast by the end of May, and then listen to what's coming up, you will see how everything ties together. It's actually quite beautiful and exciting too, because you're going to feel this upped energy within you. It's like a racehorse right by the gate, ready to take off, right? And that is all good, because Mercury too, in a beautiful trine to Pluto, is expressing itself. You are expressing yourself. And what are you expressing? You're expressing your needs to your partner. We talked about self-empowerment, and all that power is coming to the surface. You're sharing this now with your significant other. It could also be some news coming to you from your partner that may be actually excellent news as well. The aspect goes both ways, Mercury to Pluto there. But yeah, you're ending May on a wonderful note, and that tells me that you're starting off too June on a beautiful note. Very empowered, ready to go. You're the racehorse, Cancer, right? So listen, this is what we have for you here in May. I will see you next month. Have a great one.